Welcome back to another video from Chasing Saints. So today I've got a very beautiful saint to share with you. And this is Saint Demetrius of Thessaloniki. He is revered as the Myrrh-Streamer and great martyr. Now he's really special in Orthodox circles. So in the Orthodox Church, this is a major saint who is really ranked right beside, if not greater than Saint George the Martyr. As we know, Saint George is a revered saint both in the Catholic and the Orthodox traditions, but in Orthodox Church, St. George is very high up there, but right next to him is Saint Demetrius of Thessaloniki. Okay, so considered a famous soldier martyr. He was born in AD 280, and he was martyred around AD 306, it's believed. He lived during the severe persecutions of Christians under the Emperor Galerius and Maximian. A native of Thessaloniki in Macedonia, Demetrius was the son of devout Christian parents and rose to prominence as a respected military commander or a civic official in the Roman Empire. Now, it's believed that he's really more of a military commander right under the emperor and at his bidding and his direction. So despite his position, he boldly proclaimed his faith and instructed others in Christianity, defying the imperial decrees that forbade the practice. When his Christian teaching was discovered, Demetrius was arrested and confined to a subterranean cell often described as a cistern or a bath. There he was visited by Saint Nestor, a young disciple whom he blessed and encouraged to confront the emperor's champion, Laius, in the arena. Nestor triumphed through Demetrius' prayers, enraging the emperor, who ordered both executed. Demetrius was killed by spears thrust through his side around AD 306. His faithful servant, Saint Lupus, later used the martyr's blood-stained cloak and ring to perform miracles, leading to his own martyrdom. After Demetrius' death, his tomb in Thessaloniki became the spiritual city center. By the 6th century, accounts describe fragrant oil, which was called Myrrh, flowing from its relics, which were collected in cloth and cotton and distributed to the faithful. This miraculous oil brought countless healings, cures of blindness, paralysis, demonic possession, and chronic illness. He also appeared in visions defending Thessaloniki from sieges by the Avars and Slavs, earning him veneration as a protector of cities and soldiers. The Basilica of Hagios Demetrios in Thessaloniki still houses his relics, which continue to exude myrrh at intervals throughout the centuries. His feast day, October 26, is celebrated by both Eastern and Western Christians. Now, when I was doing research on this amazing saint, he is called the Myrrh-Streamer, and that's because his relics will exude myrrh. I was actually talking with one of my good friends who is a priest, and I jokingly told him, I said, "Father, if my relic here starts to stream myrrh, I'm going to tell you, you'll be the first to know." And he was like, please do. I would definitely be intrigued to see something like that. And that was kind of a funny thing, because I thought, well, when I researched this and I looked into it, I found that it wasn't individual relics like this that are known for streaming myrrh. It's his main relics that are in his tomb that stream myrrh. Now, the last time a major myrrh event happened, I believe, was back in 1980. And this was after his Mass on a feast day, and the Mass, and the bishop was officiating, and his relics exuded a great amount of myrrh, so much so that they were actually filling up buckets, and they were taking buckets out, and then year in and year out, they were wiping, cotton balls on the side of the tomb and on his relics. They were still exuding myrrh. I believe another event happened in the early 2000s, maybe 2008. I didn't look this back up before I did this video, so I apologize. I'm sure I'm wrong on that date, but I think it was the early to mid 2000s. There was another event where his relics began to exude myrrh. So it's a very interesting saint, and he's known for great miracles, myrrh streaming out of his relics, and just a very beautiful saint. So his patronage is, of course, the patron of Thessaloniki, of soldiers and those seeking courage, protection, healing. And as I said before at the beginning, he really stands beside St. George as one of Christianity's most beloved soldier martyrs, whose spiritual warfare defends the church and are faithful through every age. Now, this is a really large relic here, and I know it's kind of hard to see that I've only got part of it showing, so I'm actually going to flip this around and show you in just a moment how big this is. But first, let's go ahead and take a look at this. I'll try not to hit this camera. So very beautiful, very, very beautiful. It's an old wood reliquary, I should say. It's got a large bone in there, so this is exosubus. It's got this very beautiful gold, like filigree up there. It's got flowers on top, so you can see the flowers up here at the top. Decorative flowers all the way around. Very beautiful. I love this right here. I mean, it's so ornate. It's so beautiful how they put this together. Saint Demetrius of Thessaloniki, Thessalonia. And again, it's a wooden, fully wood here. It's got a large base on it. And we'll flip this around. I'll show you on the back. Now, you can see how this relic was put together. The way that it was sealed. It looks like an old paper here. Very old paper. Sealed in. It's got the 3 seals right here. It's got this very old red velvet sash, the sealing that goes all the way across here for the threads. Very old seals. Now, I did date this, and this actually surprisingly goes back to the same cardinal, it is believed, that Cardinal Gaspar Carpina, I believe it was, who also did the Moses relic. So this is dated between, I believe, 1670 and 1720. So these wax seals are between 250 and 300 years old. Just give you a better view there on these. And the feet, very old wooden feet here. But like I said, this is a light, kind of like the Moses relic. It's light wood. It's not super heavy. It's very beautiful. Sorry for that light there. And it's a very beautiful old relic. Very, very old. This wonderful saint. And I'm sure that if any Orthodox come across this video, they will love this. They will love this saint. I reached out to one of my programmers. I run my own business, and I reached out to one of my programmers who lives over in Bosnia and Serbia. So he calls himself a Bosniak Serb. It's interesting in those parts of the country, because one day I called him a Serb, and he's like, no, I'm not a Serb. I'm Orthodox. I'm a Bosniak Serb. And I went, very interesting. So they have great heritage. They're great Orthodox heritage. And I asked him, I said, what do you think of Saint Demetrius of Thessalonia? He was like, oh, you mean Demetrios of Thessaloniki. And I went, oh, the way they pronounce and everything along with all that rich history. He said, oh, yes, we celebrate, the feast day on this day, and we have our St. George Day, and then we have our St. Demetrios Day, and it's a big day in our church, and they actually take work off on that day. So they dedicate these wonderful, beautiful feasts to these beautiful saints. And you got to love the Orthodox and their great faith, because they do this. They go all out, and they have major feast days, and families get together and they celebrate. There's a certain level of richness that I think in our Catholic tradition, which we have our own beauty, don't get me wrong, but there's a certain level of richness that maybe it's more cultural that we've lost out on. And maybe that is more cultural here, being American. Whereas over in Europe, there is more of a rich culture on these saint days. So it may just be more along the lines of that. But I do see that in the Orthodox Church a lot, that they celebrate these beautiful feast days all out. They go fully in. And it's just, it's a wonderful, wonderful show of faith. So Saint Demetrius of Thessaloniki, please come to our assistance. Please intercede for those that are asking you today to intercede on their behalf. We know that this is a beautiful, wonderful saint, and that this is a saint that gave so much to God, so much to the church. And I just want to scroll down here a little bit and show you more of this beautiful, beautiful reliquary. So Saint Demetrius of Thessaloniki, please pray for us. All right, my friends, I am going to end this video here in just a moment. Now, I got to tell you, I do have a twin relic here. And you know me, I like to show you what's coming up next. And I think I may actually have to do this one next here. So this is Saint Demetrius of Alexandria. Now, look at these two great, beautiful saints right here. Very same relics. The wood actually almost matches up on the bottom, the feet going together. So you can definitely tell that these were put together at the same time, came in together from the same cardinal, Carpinian, and dated, and everything's the same, just a different saint and a bigger bone, actually, on this one. So Saint Demetrius of Alexandria was a pope. I believe he was the 12th patriarch, the 12th pope of Alexandria, or the 12th bishop of Alexandria. Anyways, I'll definitely do more research on this before I report him, and I'll be sharing more of his beautiful life and beautiful story. So my dear friends, please remember to keep close to the saints. As always, end with my great saying here. Now, this is interesting because I actually took this saying from a special ministry that I'm in. So whenever I end this video with Jesus is Lord, Mary's our mother, and the saints are our friend, it's from a ministry that I'm a part of, and it's normally said at the end of the prayers of that ministry. And it's a very beautiful phrase that I picked up. So that's why I say it at the end. I've had some people ask, why do you always say this at the end? Well, it's the wonderful facts of our life and our faith. Jesus is Lord, Mary is our mother, and the saints are definitely our good friends. So may God bless you, and I will see you on the next video.